become a CEO of the JSE listed companies. Wow, that's quite interesting. She's also currently working as an equity research intern assistant at the Wits Faculty of Science. She is also a graduate of Mathematics of Finance, and she's also doing her honors in mathematical sciences. Simphiwe, please take the floor. Simphiwe, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here. Can you guys see me?
Yes, we can.
All right. Thank you so much for the lovely introduction. As I've been introduced, I am Simphiwe Ngwenya, and it's truly an honor to be here today, guys. I'd like to thank the Girleada organization for inviting me today to come and speak to this, amazing group of young leaders and share my leadership journey with you guys. I would also like to thank the audience, everyone who's here, for being here. I'm quite emotional when I see the numbers in this call right now. I mean, we all know the gender inequality stats. I myself have been in the leadership space for quite a while, and I have witnessed the gender inequality. And even right now, I recently entered the corporate world, and in my entire team, the entire research team, I'm literally the only female. And when I look at other teams as well, there's like less female representation. It even gets worse when you go into upper management and senior executive roles, there's less females. So seeing these numbers here, the number of girls here, it's quite heartwarming. It shows that you guys really want to take up space and you want to address this issue of gender inequality. And I'm quite confident that we will address this issue, and in a few years to come we will close this gap. One of the things I always want to say first, I feel like there's a lot of misunderstanding when it comes to leadership. And one of the first things that I always say whenever I'm given an opportunity to speak about leadership, is the fact that always remember that leadership starts with leading yourself. And that is one thing that I wanted to bring out forth before I start talking about my leadership journey. I want you guys to first understand that leadership begins with you being able to lead yourself first. I strongly believe that there's no way that a person can be able to lead another organization if they can't lead their own life. If you don't have your own goals, you don't have a vision about your own life, you don't have a direction, you don't have values and principles that guide you, there's no way you're going to be able to lead another organization. I always make an example with I always tell people to think of themselves as an organization. Every organization has a goal, be it short-term or long-term goals, but every organization has a goal. And how are you going to be able to fulfill the goals of an organization if you yourself, you can't even fulfill or set goals for your own life? How an organization has a vision. How are you going to be able to fulfill the vision of an organization if you yourself, you can't realize the vision, if you can't set a vision for your own life and you can't realize your own vision? Even companies and organizations, they also have principles, they've got values that guide them. And it's important for you as well as an individual to have values that guide you. And that's where leadership starts. The moment you have values and leadership that guide, values and principles, yes, that guide you, that's when leadership starts. The moment you've got influence, because at the end of the day, leadership is not about a title, about me having, being the chairperson. It's all about the influence I'm having, how I'm treating other people. And that's why every time when someone refers to me as a leader, I never wanted to be because, she is the chairperson of, the school or the faculty of science. I want you to call me a leader because of, the way I treat others, because of the influence I'm leaving, in other people, because of my values, because of my principles, because of my character, how I'm living my life. So when I'm going to speak about my leadership journey, I'm going to mainly focus on my journey of discovery, because I believe that's where my leadership journey started. It didn't start in 2018 when I became, the chairperson of History Makers SA, but it started when I discovered myself, who I was. As I've said, that leadership starts with you being able to lead yourself. So about my leadership journey, I believe that my leadership journey really started in 2014. And that was in 2013. I was actually 13 years old. I was in grade 9, going to grade 10. Yes, some of you may be confused with the numbers. I finished my matric at the age of 16. So don't be confused when I say I was 13 years old when I was in grade 9. So yeah, that was when my leadership journey began. And some of you may know, well, I think all of us, I don't know how, what are the ages in this group? Like, what's the age, like how old most of you are? But okay, I'm just gonna assume that most of you are like, above 15 years old. But yeah, if most of you will understand that in grade 9, there's a process where you have to select your own modules, like, select subjects going forward, like for grade 10, 11, and 12. And for me, I believe that was when my leadership journey started, because I am from Soweto, and it is a great Kasi. It's a great township. Growing up in the township is great. But there are advantages and disadvantages. And for me, I was really surrounded by a lot of bad influence. And prior to that stage in my life, prior to the stage where I had to select modules, subjects for grade 10, I had never done a self-introspection to find out who is really Simphiwe. What do I believe in? What is my purpose in life? What are my strengths? What do I like? What are my weaknesses? I never really did an introspection. I was just a person who was just living, Jay. And at that point, I was told that, oh my gosh, my PC is low. Can I charge? Okay, please give me a minute.
Amazing words we've heard so far from our guest speaker. Please, ladies, prepare your questions so long. We will be opening the floor for questions. So while we're still waiting on her, just wrap around everything that she has just said and noted down as well. Inspirational words, Viper. Thank you, Simphiwe.
Alrighty. Okay. So, okay. Yeah. So as I was saying, I was really just living life with no goals, with no vision. And at that point, I then had to, make a decision, because I was told that, whatever subjects that you're going to take in grade 10, going forward, it's going to change the direction of your life from at that point going forward. And I had to, that was the first time when I started doing a self-introspection. And I'm quite grateful that I ended up taking a right decision. And that was because of the certain values and principles that I instilled in me. Through religion also, guys. I'm a Christian, so I am a religious person. So at that point in time, there were certain principles that were guided. I was guided by certain Bible principles. So as I said, that I was really surrounded by a lot of bad influence, but at that time I was able to make a lot of a good decision at the point. And as much as, some of my friends were, making bad decisions, dropping out of school, falling into drug abuse, alcohol abuse, but I was able to make a good decision because of the values and principles that were instilled in me through, the organization that I was a part of. And so that is why I am stressing the importance of having certain values and principles. And that's why I'm saying that is where my leadership journey began, because that's where I started thinking about the vision and where I want my life to head. Yeah, I started thinking about the direction of my life. So yeah, fast forward, I was able to, select the science stream, and I matriculated in 2016. And when I matriculated in 2016, I was accepted at Wits University. But at that point, I was still not happy with, I was, okay, first of all, I was accepted for construction studies, and it's not something I was really interested in. I just applied in J for the sake of applying, but I really didn't see myself there. I didn't see myself even, in the construction space. So that really worried me a lot. And I made a decision that I'm going to repeat my matric. It was a lot of people were a bit, what can I say? Like, there was a lot of conflicts, especially family, friends, people were not happy with the decision I made. But the reason why I'm saying that was the beginning of my leadership journey, it was because I started taking control of my life. I wasn't listening to, what is another person, like what other people think I should live my life. I was not going by other people, but I made a decision that made me happy, and I decided to invest in my journey of self-discovery. And when I chose to repeat my matric in 2017, so I could qualify for the degree that I wanted to do, I really invested in my journey of self-discovery. I did a lot of research. I watched a lot of videos, consulted, spoke to a lot of people, just to get a lot of exposure, because I'm sure you guys know the saying that you are as big as your exposure. And for me, in the township that I grew up, I really didn't have a lot of inspiration, like, especially female inspiration. For example, simple thing as, girls who are going to university. I didn't have, such people to look up to, even if there were, but most of them ended up dropping out, they fell pregnant or got into the wrong crowd into the wrong crowd. But I just didn't have great inspiration, motivation rather. And even, female entrepreneurs, didn't see many of that in my township. So I was able to consult during that year, using Google, YouTube videos, listening to stories on YouTube of people like me, hearing how, they, went about, discovering themselves. And at the end of that 2017, at the end of 2017, I was able to pass, I was able to improve my marks, and I was able to make it to the degree that I wanted to pursue. And at that time, I already had an idea that I want to be in the investments industry. And that's where I now had a direction. Yes, I didn't have everything figured out. And I hope none of you are misinterpreting me as in like you need to have everything in life figured out. No, but I had a direction. I had an idea of where I want to be. Whether I was going to be an actuary, specializing in investments, or I was going to be an investment banker or whatnot, but I knew that I wanted to be in the investment industry. And when I came to Wits 2018, I then joined a society called History, a society that was offering, it's offering share investments classes. They also offer other things. Can you guys hear me? I'm getting a notification that says your internet connection is unstable.
We can still hear you.
Okay, cool. So that was a life-changing moment for me, because at that time, it was a society that was, perfect. It was a society that was offering investments classes. And as I said, I really wanted to find myself in the investment industry. And I was consistent, disciplined. Those were some of the leadership qualities that really helped me in this journey. So discipline. I was consistent in attending the investment classes every Wednesday. And I remember towards the end of the year, the chairperson of the society at that time came to me, and he was like, a new committee needs to be elected, and we need to elect new leaders who are going to lead the society. At that time, I didn't have much, leadership experience in terms of like leading. Like in high school, I was never a prefect. I was never anything. Like I was just a person who was just leading. And at that point, I'm given the opportunity to be in a leadership position. One thing for sure I can definitely say is I was confident in my leadership, in my leadership abilities. I knew that I was going to be able to lead the organization. And I remember a committee was elected, and I was voted in as the chairperson of the organization. It was my first time being in a leadership, having a title, basically. fast forward 2019, at the end of that leadership year, the organization won the most outstanding student organization at Wits. That was my first time leading, an organization. And I believe the one thing that really helped me was because I was confident in my leadership capabilities. I was confident in my team members. I was confident in the vision of the organization. And that helped me, even though, yes, I was able to, implement a lot of new initiatives and programs. And as a leader, yes, you will be expected to do that. But then if you are not confident in the things that you're doing, there's no way that your teammates and the other people are going to have faith in, what you're doing. And yeah, so one thing that really helped me in succeeding and making sure that we were able to realize the vision of the society at that year was mainly because I was confident in myself and in my teammates. And yeah, continuing on the leadership journey, 2020, I then joined the School of Mathematics Student Council. I was serving as a secretary there, and it was also an amazing experience. Got to sharpen a lot of my skills. I then proceeded on to being the vice chairperson of the School of Economics and Finance Student Council. Yeah, and that was also amazing. Sharpened a lot of my leadership skills, in terms of especially cultural intelligence. That is one thing, because I mean, when you're in a leadership position, you're working with people from different cultural backgrounds. And okay, am I supposed to join a room or just no?
You can continue.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, so at that point, yeah, my cultural intelligence really improved, because the nice thing about being in these leadership roles is that you get to sharpen a lot of your leadership skills. For example, I got to sharpen my cultural intelligence. Now I know how to work with people from different backgrounds. You will find when you're in a team, right? You'll find people having differing beliefs, differing opinions, different views, and it can really be a negative thing, but you need to, at the end of the day, as a team, you need to find a common ground to work together, regardless of whether you guys are from different backgrounds. You need to find a common ground and work towards realizing the vision of the organization. And so, yeah, my cultural intelligence definitely improved. I was able to build on my confidence. Even now, I'm still not that perfect with my confidence, but I am working towards it. And there was, even time management was something I really worked on. And yeah, just organization, working with people, executing goals and making sure that you realize them. And that is why I would really love to encourage a lot of you guys, if you do get an opportunity to lead an organization or whatever, run a business, do take it up, because it really does help in sharpening your leadership skills. And yeah, currently I am serving as the chairperson of the Wits Faculty of Science. And yeah, I'm still continuing on my leadership journey. It's not ending here, it's still gonna continue. But yeah, I just wanted to stress the point that it all started with me taking control of my life. It didn't start in 2018 when I had my first title as the chairperson of History Makers, but it started with me knowing who I was, having goals for my life, understanding, what is my purpose in life, what is, a lot of things about me, what are my strengths, what do I like, what don't I like. So I really wish that you guys can all start there when you are thinking of being great leaders, invest a lot in your journey of self-discovery. And yeah, one of the important things that I also wanted to touch up is the importance of confidence. Yes, I have touched up a bit on it, but I did take down some points just to make sure that I don't forget. The main reason, because I know this is a confidently present, that's the theme, right? Confidently present. And one of the things that I've realized about confidence on my leadership journey is that confidence makes you courageous. And that is why it's very important for you to have confidence when you are in a leadership position. And the reason why I'm saying being courageous is very important is because as a leader, you are going to face a lot of obstacles in any organization or wherever you will be. And or maybe you might be required to take, calculated risks. But when you're courageous, you are able to embrace that risk and be able to, trust and have faith in your decisions, which is very important. I mean, you can imagine, I can make an example with the sinking ship. If like you are the captain of a sinking ship and you have to make a decision right and there to save the ship, you can't be, stumbling, being unsure of what decision to take. But it's important for you to be courageous and make like a proper decision and be confident in your decision. So yeah, one of the things I've realized is that confidence helps you, helps with making you courageous. And then another thing that I've realized is that when you are a leader, you need to be able to adapt to change easily. And you will not be able to adapt to change if you are not confident. So yeah, confidence does help you be able to adapt to change easily, and you will be able to instigate change if you are thinking of implementing new programs, new things. Even myself, as I did say, there were points whereby I had to implement new initiatives, new programs, change the structure of the organization. And one of the things that really helped me was being confident in the decisions that I was making, even though I wasn't 100% sure of the outcome, but I had to be confident, because the moment I wasn't confident, then my team members were going to lose faith in me, and other people were not going to believe in my programs that I was implementing if I was not confident in them. And then last but not least, I know I'm out of time, but one of the things that one of the things I wanted to say is, as a woman, you're going to face a lot of obstacles. Like everything that you're doing, you're always being questioned. Everything you're doing, like your leadership style, it's always questionable. When you are implementing an action, it's always questionable. It's one of the things that we are facing, one of the challenges we are facing. So the reason why it's important for you to be confident is so that you're not easily shaken by any criticism that comes. I myself have, experienced a lot of negative critics, people trying to bring me down, saying I'm not good enough, or rather maybe certain traits of mine are being mistaken, they are being seen as a weakness. For example, if I'm humble or I have empathy and I'm not like aggressive towards my teammates, it's seen as a weakness and to other people. And sometimes you get these negative comments that, oh no, you're not good enough, you're not doing a great job. But if you have your self-confidence sorted out, if you are self-confident, you will not be shaken by those negative comments that you're receiving from other people and all of that. And that is why it's very important for you to work on your confidence, especially as a woman, because being a leader and being a female leader are two different things. You face a lot of challenges as a female leader. But yeah, guys, I tried to shorten everything in like 10 minutes, but I would have loved to stay here and speak more. But if you guys just have any more questions about my leadership journey or anything, feel free to ask and I'll answer now.
Thank you, Simphiwe. There's a lot of things we can actually take home as messages and a couple of pointers, such as the importance of having a vision, direction, your values, and guiding principles. Those are amazing. Those are actually the foundation of you being confident, because you need to also believe in yourself in order for others to believe in you. So without further ado, we will be taking questions from the floor from our members. May you please just raise your hand. We have Ntabelengi Siane. You can go ahead.
Hi, I wanted to ask, how did you confidently take on your leadership role? I have two questions. That's the first one.
Okay, you can ask the second question as well. Yeah.
Okay, and the second question is, the second question is one way that you led them, like an example of how you actually carried out your leadership role. What did you do? Wow, yeah.
Sorry, please repeat the second one.
Like it's one way that you led them, like how did you go about your leadership role? Maybe can carrying out tasks, maybe how did you do it? If you had to give me advice on how you did it, what would you say?
Okay. So first, your first question was, how was I confident, right? Sorry. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have asked those two questions.
How did you confidently take on your leadership role?
Okay, how did I confidently take on my leadership role? As I said, one of the things about me is that I trusted my leadership capabilities. I knew I was going to be able to deal with other people because of the values and principles that guide me. So I already was confident in me. I had self-confidence in me before I could even think of, having confidence for leading an organization. So yeah, one of the things that, okay, no, let me not go there. But okay, what was your second question?
One way that you led them, like an example of how, you carried out your leadership role.
Okay, so one way was, the most important thing was delegation of tasks. One thing about, being a chairperson is you can't do everything at the same time. And one of the things that I really had to master was being able to delegate the tasks. And that is I think that's the most important thing you can do as a leader. Don't try to micromanaging everything yourself. Know how to delegate your tasks to different people and help other people feel leadership. Like, don't just do everything on your own. I think it's called leading from the back. I think it always works. Honestly, just delegate your tasks to different people, and when they don't do their tasks, then that's when you can step in and then assist and say, okay, no, or maybe advise them speak to them. Communication is very important. Speak to them and say, listen, I've delegated a task to you and you have not done it. Please do it. And if it happens that they still don't do it, that's when you step in. But my main point is, make sure that you know how to delegate your tasks properly, because there's going to be a lot of things that you're doing in an organization, and it's important for you to be able to delegate tasks as a leader and not just try to do everything on your own, because then the organization will not succeed. But yeah, in terms of being confident, I worked on myself confidence like myself, and there's many ways in which you can work on your self-confidence. Even joining a beauty pageant does help in your confidence. Having these daily devotions, is it daily motivations that you say, things that you say when you wake up in the morning, having writings on the wall to say, I am good enough, I am a great person. It's simple things that can really help you boost your confidence. So yeah, just work on your self-confidence.
Okay,
Thank you, Simphiwe. Okay. In the midst of everything, girl leaders, please just remember to rename yourselves. Please do remember to rename yourselves. Simphiwe, we do have a question from the chat box from Nolwazi. It goes as follows. What kept you motivated throughout your journey?
I think it's mainly, I've always had this thing of wanting to make a difference in the world. Every time in any leadership space, I always want to make sure that I make an impact and I leave an impact. When I'm gone, people must still know that, there was Simphiwe and she did this, like she left a legacy, basically. So yeah, the one thing that was mainly motivating me was to make a change. For example, the organization I was leading, History Makers, it was offering important skills. Like we were offering free classes for share investment, entrepreneurship, programming and coding, which are all important skills that are helping in, tackling unemployment and poverty in South Africa, because there is a shortage of those skills. So me, every day, I knew that every day when I work on making sure that the vision of the site is realized, I am automatically working on reducing the unemployment rate in SA. And I knew that was a positive thing that I was doing for my country. So yeah, I think just the thing that I had in me of wanting to make an impact and make a difference. And it was just not nice. As I'm saying right now, I'm proud of Girleada for, offering these leadership sessions for you guys, because we are facing an issue of gender inequality, and it is motivating, to know that I don't know how to put it, but it's basically motivating to know that your input that you are putting into the organization will have great results in addressing the issues of the country that you are in or in the continent that you are in. So the one thing that was motivating me was to make it different and help address the issues that we are facing in SA.
Thank you, Simphiwe. Ladies, for the purpose of time, I'll be only taking 2 more questions. One question from Zananda and another question from Rutendo. 1 question each. Zananda, you can go ahead.
Hi, there's a background noise. I'm outside doing my hair. Simphiwe, I wanted to ask you a question. You just spoke about you want to leave a role model. People would you want to leave a legacy. Yes. Can you hear me? Yeah. Yes. And then you said back home you didn't have a model. Everyone who went to varsity, they came back either pregnant or they had dropped out. So what are you doing back home to make sure that the girls who are looking for role models as well are seeing someone who is same as them and who is able to access all of these opportunities and who are making it out there?
Mm-hmm. So I am doing that through, through the organization that I am a part of, which is History Makers SA. We are trying to address some of these challenges of girls, and even now with not of girls, sorry, of, what can I say? Okay, no, let me put it this way, right? So I am a part of History Makers, right? And I'm also part of the chairperson of the Wits Faculty of Science. So under the Faculty of Science, right? Let me start there. There is a shortage of girls who are like shortage of girls in the fields of STEM and science. And as the chairperson, it is my goal right now is to make sure that we get a lot of females in science, and we are having projects. We have recently started a podcast, which is to interview a lot of females who are a lot of candidates who are in the science field, so that other girls, younger girls, can actually listen to the podcast and hear about some of the stories of other females who are able to get into the leadership space. So more like, role models. So that is how one way that I'm addressing the issue. Because when I took the science stream in grade 10, I didn't have a role model, someone who was in the science field that I could look up to and say, oh, actually, there's a female who studied mathematical science. I can as well. But now, because I am here, I'm trying by all means to make sure that we are able to show young people in the townships that it is possible through me. So through these podcast sessions that we are having, other young people can now be able to listen to these sessions and see that it is possible. Also, through History Makers, as I wanted to say,
sorry,
things like entrepreneurship.
Sorry,
I did say that.
Sorry. I just wanted to ask on the podcast. So how is it easily accessible to the girls back home? Is it very accessible, or how would they get in touch with these podcasts? Sorry.
Okay, so we will send out a link. So we have a community outreach program, which is still yet to be, we are going to go in April, where we're going to be going to different schools in townships. Obviously, we won't reach out to everyone, but we are trying. We are going to be going to different high schools, and then we're going to be speaking to the students and then give them the links to the podcast, basically. Does it make sense? So it's a community outreach program where we will be going to the schools, not all the schools, the ones that we can reach out to, and then let them know. And then we do have like online platforms where we do upload, where we will be uploading these podcast sessions, on social media, because that's the one way in which you can reach out to different people. But we are going to high schools, Yeah, and then in terms of History Makers, as I did say that I didn't have like much entrepreneurial inspiration, like female entrepreneurs growing up. When I entered into History Makers, I introduced entrepreneurship classes. And when I introduced the entrepreneurship classes, I was thinking of these things, but then I wasn't literally focusing on girls, female thingy. It's a matter of like, it's a South African issue. You know, we need entrepreneurship, we need new businesses, you know, be it female or male, but we need new businesses. And that's why I started this entrepreneurship program, you know, to offer entrepreneurial skills to young people. And yes, it is currently, we just have presence at Wits and at UP, and we are hoping to, you know, expand to, you know, other high school learners, and maybe start offering to high school learners as well, these entrepreneurial skills. But yeah, right now we are still at university level. So yeah, that is just basically some of the things that I am doing. I'm still working on it, but yeah, I am making progress.
Thank you, Simphiwe. That is very quite detailed. So we'll be taking our last question from Rutendo, and we're going to close off. Apologies, ladies, we cannot take any more questions. However, you can reach out if you need to after the session. So Rutendo, you can go ahead.
Oh, thank you so much, Lindo. Thank you, Simphiwe, for sharing your leadership journey with us. And during your talk, you mentioned a lot about principles and values that guided you. So I wanted to know, what sort of values and principles did you set for yourself to guide you as a leader throughout your leadership journey? Thank you.
Okay, so as I said, I am a Christian, so I was mainly guided by the Bible. And right now, I don't know if I can literally say all the principles, but I was literally, I took a decision. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Christian religion, but you do get baptized, and you know, you choose to live according to the Bible principles. So everything that I was doing, things like, you know, having empathy, treating other people the way that you would like to be treated, you know, having discipline, which is one thing that really helped me. Discipline was one thing that helped me, because as I said, for example, when I was in grade 10, I did say that I was surrounded by a lot of bad influence around me, and I was still able to go and attend extra classes. I joined an extra tutorial program where I was going to attend on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So from grade 10 up until grade 12, I was doing this, and that required a lot of discipline. And yeah, I definitely had discipline. I was consistent, and that really helped me, making sure that I realized my goals. And yeah, and just being honest in everything that I do, trustworthy, you know, all these principles. These are the principles that were guiding me. There's a long list, but I think the one thing that really helped me was being disciplined, and that really helped me in realizing my goals.
Thank you, Simphiwe. Unfortunately, ladies, we won't be able to take any more questions due to time. Please